want you to know that I'm happy for you.
I'm already regretting this.
I wish nothing but
I love Alanis.
the best for you both. Hopefully, we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed. I've got to make sure that my comment process comes up. It's alleging that it is good. Now, here is the trick. We're really, really hoping that maybe, just maybe, having an Ethernet connection is going to help us. So we'll
Help us.
find out in real time. For saying that, I do want to make sure that I let you know. Special thanks to my IT guy. Who's that IT guy? Oh yeah, I know who that IT guy is. That would be Steven. So thank you, Steven, for giving me this little Ethernet cable. We're gonna find out if it's working. So trying to get everything, like I normally do, shut down, and we'll see if it works or not. And if not, we just go back to the drawing board. So, as we've discussed, first of all, welcome to my first viewers that have shown up. Thank you very much. As with me, as we've had for a few weeks, is Peanut Gallery, Evan. So thank you, Evan, with your lovely glasses. Yes, I did dress up for this. Here's what's funny. I was trying to figure out what to wear. I wasn't really sure which way to go. And so I found an old, and of course, you can tell how old it is by how I chopped the shirt. And it says "Never Love Again." So yes, I did dress up, Kat. Welcome to the show. And this is one that I wore back when I was single. Pretty sure I wore it for a couple of Bender gigs, and then I also have getting used to everything being opposite direction is always rather tricky. But over here, I've got the pin that I used for my um, that I used for the picture for this to make sure I got as many people as possible to join me on the live stream. So, and it's a little heart that's got a little band aid on it. Now, this is very old. I've had this thing since I don't know, I was like 9 or 10 or something.
Adorable.
Wasn't it cute? Yeah. So, and it is like a kind of a plaster almost. So, yeah. So, yes. And Evan has a mic too. That was another one of the improvements that hopefully it will
I
work.
mean, it's still, we don't know if it's an improvement yet.
No, we'll find out when I do the watch back. So fingers crossed, he has a little bit more access to be able to speak up.
Yeah.
So, and it was funny. He asked me earlier tonight. He said, he's like, "Oh, is Steven going to join you on this?" And I was like, wouldn't the better choice be a person who is going through a breakup? Go, let's just do that. So everybody in the room that's gone
I'm
through
the
a bad
guinea
breakup,
pig.
raise your hand.
I am
It's
such
all
a
of
guinea
us.
pig for
It's
tonight.
all of
I
us.
regret
So
this
well,
already.
no, we've all been through it. But you're wearing the glasses of love. You're
Yes, I
you're
am.
looking through the
I'm
eyes
here.
of love. I don't know. There's a song like that. So Linda is here. Welcome. Thank you. And
I'm
so
here for single
I'm.
tears coming out of my
I know the little
retinas.
tear. And Linda says I'm actually on time. Thank the alarm. Yes, very good. I'm glad you're using the alarm as well. Inger, welcome as well, and said building the gear. So yes, and so like I said, this is the outfit that one of many outfits that I made for Bender, all kinds of stuff. And so of course I just decided for the heck of it to throw in my roller skate necklace, and of course they do have broken heart earrings. Not that you can see them all that well, but
Roller skate necklace.
yeah, it's my roller like
Sweet. I mean,
so it looks
I
very
don't
it's
get a
very
chance to
roller
see
derby.
this stuff
So
before either. So
and here's the thing, like those of you that have known me for the last few years, I normally don't do cleavage outfits. So yeah, you're welcome. I don't know. I don't know.
it's okay. Yeah,
It's
you can
just,
say
but
that.
yeah, like, I used to.
You can leave it at that.
These
You're
are the
welcome.
these are the outfits that I have worn in the past. So yeah, I did a little bit of dress up. So
We've come with
so
what we've got.
Linda says that I can kind of hear Evan much
Oh,
better. So I think
okay.
we've made some improvements. So
I'm
well, and
so afraid of
but
like
but
this.
you're also pretty shouty, and
Yeah.
you know how sure SM58 microphones work. Not I don't not they're my favorites,
Yep.
but
Yep.
so yeah.
We're
So
gonna see
I'm
what
glad you tried
happens.
that.
I
Yeah,
will.
exactly.
I'm gonna
So
check distances.
as we said, and then of course if you stick around all the way to the end, I will make the announcement on what next week's theme is going to be. So I always like to surprise you guys. So of course we're talking about breakup songs and breakup movies. Right after Valentine's Day, I had a hard time this week. You guys, it's so sad. So sad. We joke about the tear, we joke about the crying, but oh man, like I realized I was going to cry my way through the playlists that I made if I didn't split it out. So I did sad songs and sassy, angry breakup songs
So I
because
have to have them
there
both.
was no good
Both.
way for me to get around it any other way. But yes, that's why I said on when I posted the second one, I'm like, try not to cry because some of them that just certain ones really stand out for certain people. So as far as breakup songs and movies, the beginning of it all, it is a classic song type. From the time we've been writing songs that have lyrics in them, we've been talking about love, and what's part of love is heartbreak, breaking up, all of that. So love breeds breakup songs. So we have our love songs, and of course, Singer's already singing with us. Breaking up is hard to do. Doobie down, doobie doo down, down. So we're gonna do a lot of singing,
I think I'm
and the
just gonna be
reason why,
groaning this whole show.
pretty soon you're just gonna be like all leaned back in your chair crying and curled up in a
Asking for
ball.
some sort of
Oh no, what have I done to my friend? I'm so sorry. And that was one of Linda's favorites. So yeah, so we'll probably be doing like a lot of lyric singing. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't re-break
Yeah,
your
I'm good.
re-break your heart too much. So but these are universal truths and universal feelings. At some point or another, in some way or another, we've all had our heart broken. And when it comes out in music or it comes out in movies, it's cathartic for us and we can connect to it. So it's the human condition, us connecting to that. And of course, we use pop culture to, like I said, put a funhouse mirror to what our lives really are. And so that's part of it. So, and the other thing is that breakup songs can be complicated. Like they're not just sad, they're not just angry. They can be different kinds of upset. So, it's that combination. And so this is where I said cue Inside Out. You know how in the movie, if you don't know, in the movie Inside Out, as the girl matures
Oh,
and has all of the emotions, she has a happy and sad emotion combined,
mhm.
and that's a complexity of emotions. So to go back to what Inger was talking about, how when you hit puberty, all of a sudden all of these, things are kind of bouncing around in your head. You're starting to get more understanding of emotional maturity, and so it begins, and so that heartbreak goes with it. So
It makes sense though, like to
exactly.
have all those emotions and
Hmm.
everything, all the things in
Yeah.
the same song because you are going through all those stages of grief,
Absolutely, it's
right? So
stages of grief.
anger and
Hmm.
sad and
Yep.
all that's gonna happen. It could
Yep.
happen in one song or
Exactly.
across a whole album.
Exactly. So thank you guys for chiming in. This is great. Jeremy, welcome. Maggie May by Rod Stewart is kind of a breakup song. And that was the other thing. I found songs where like, is this a breakup song or is it not a breakup song? And then especially if you know what it was written about, sometimes it can become a breakup song, but it's really like about I miss my grandma or whatever. So, and so it could be a few different things. And so of course Kat not only mentions the breakup movie Say Anything, because that's the other thing, is like, is it a breakup movie if they end up broken up or stay broken up, or if they just do the breakup and then get back together? So Say Anything is amazing, and In Your Eyes is one of those that is heart, like it just kind of gets to your heart, right? But that's more on the love song side. I don't think there's anything about breaking up in Your Eyes. I think it's just a beautiful love song.
Yeah, what's
People
the
say that
song
it
that's
was written about
playing when
Rosanna
they
Arquette.
break up? You know, like
Oh,
what's
he turned, well,
you
I
know,
don't know. That's kind of tough. I
because
was
that
trying.
would be the
It was a
one.
punk song. I know that because he was a huge fan of some really good punk music. So that was a fabulous movie. But the movie itself, very much about
Yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah.
through a breakup,
And
and has a lot. I mean,
I mean, who
okay, here it is. Here it
all
is.
of
I'm gonna
us
throw
wanted that
you.
boombox
I'm gonna
moment
I'm
in
gonna
our
throw
lives.
you a side note that I didn't even realize I did. The movie came out after I did this. So I had a fellow who had a crush on me in high school, named will remain nameless unless he does decide to speak up. I am still friends with him to this very day. So he's a very cool dude, but I just didn't want to date him. I gifted him a pen. Yeah, I had given him a gift, and I can't remember if it was Christmas or his birthday, but I gave him a pen, just like in Say Anything. I give her my heart, she gives me a pen. And then that movie came out, and I was like, oh no,
What did I
oh
do?
no, yeah, no, I'm totally going to tell Steven's story as well. Oh, and Crystal says Julie hates that song. Yes, I don't like Maggie May because he calls her old. Like the sunlight in your face really shows
That
your age,
son of a.
and for some reason that offended me. It's not that bad of a song, but I just pet peeve it. I really don't like it. So,
Mm.
Jeremy says, "Here Comes the Rain" by the Mavericks is kind of a breakup song that will make a big dude sob. Yes, amen. Rest in peace, Raul Malo. He is one of my heroes. He had an entire album, or he's done a couple of solo albums, but the first one that he came out with, one of my all-time favorites, makes top 10 lists for me all the time. So yes, there it is. Kat has the answer. I love it. Fishbone. They played a lot of Fishbone in that. So cult
Mm.
of personality, but not the cult of personality y'all know. Fishbone.
Right.
Not Living Color, but yes. So yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I
Yeah.
got to see them in concert once.
Oh, that would be nice.
What a privilege.
Yeah, I only have a Fishbone T-shirt because I worked at Hot Topic. So not that everybody got them, but I did. So the Where was I?
Mm.
I don't know. I got lost. Oh, there we go.
I'm the
So,
one with ADHD.
Jeremy agrees on Raul. He's shouting with me. We're connecting over it. Absolutely. So,
Mm.
and sometimes when you have, it's not just a breakup song, it's the entire album is a breakup album. The entire artist is a breakup artist because that's what they have to work with.
God.
Like, are we
Yeah.
going to, like, we'll get into those. Promise
Like
you,
the
we
whole
will. Oh,
record is just
yeah. And there are artists that have multiple records, and so we'll get into the more of those details as we go. But absolutely,
besides
keep them
Trent
in mind.
Reznor too, right?
You
Like
know, that's yes, he's been through some heartbreak, I believe. So yes, I think so. So, and also what we want to think about is some of this modern music. It comes from the blues, right? So rock and roll built out of the blues, and then jazz and all of that stuff. And so,
mm.
what are we singing about when we're singing in the blues? We're singing about heartbreak. So it just fits. So, yep, there's our cat bringing it up. Holy Swifty Batman. We're going to talk about a list of Taylor songs, and feel free to chime
Oh
in
my
when
God.
the time comes, right? It's going to be big. But the
Some
thing
of
is,
them
you,
through this whole experience have hurt,
yes,
and some of them have made me feel better. Like I can't
yes,
listen to
yes.
a
Mm.
Swift discography
Yeah,
and not
and
have to go through the whole
but
thing.
sometimes the bonding and the sadness
Oh yeah,
helps you feel connected and
have
helps
to.
you feel part of humanity. So, oh yes, Inger brings up a share song. Do you believe in life after love? One of
Mm.
my favorites. Same, same.
Mhm.
Hey, cousin Mark, it's really good to see you. Hello, right back. So yes, those are awesome examples, and I have quite a few of it all kind of scattered in all of my notes. So it's complicated combinations, like I brought up. So there is the sadness, but then there's also being able to understand that other people have been through it too. Sometimes we have things like sadness, but we also have anger. My girl Alanis, I worked really hard to make sure I got my poster. I have a giant poster that I got from back when I was working at the record store. This was my big get. It is my treasure. It's going to end up somewhere in our fully decorated basement once it's fully decorated. Work in progress, as many things that I do are. And then sometimes the breakup songs are happy, and sometimes it's a relief to go through that. And we'll talk more about those. And sometimes it's stress, and sometimes it's brooding, and sometimes you're wishing them well or you're wishing them ill. So uh, we'll get into all of those. So I broke it up, like I said, into sad songs, angry songs, and then I have a couple of other more complicated emotion songs. So those are kind of what I
All right,
did. Then we'll have some movies afterwards. So we're going to
cool.
rattle off a few. One
So
of the
ready.
oldest ones that I thought of was Stormy Weather. Stormy weather when me and my man ain't together. Oh,
Mm.
it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Lena Horne does an amazing version of it, and I love it. And
Oh,
Jeremy
cool.
said, "Don't speak my note out." Yes, and so what I try to do with the sad songs and the angry songs is put them in some sort of like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, working our way into it. So we will absolutely get to the 90s because there's some really good stuff, including No Doubt. And I'm pretty sure she wrote a whole album. Oh, yeah. And she's writing about the guy that she broke up with who's a bass player in the band. Any
Who's like
Fleetwood
one of the
Mac?
best bass players in
Yeah.
the
And so,
world in the band.
of course, we're talking about some of the Fleetwood Mac songs. Yes, we are.
Mm.
And so, in the 50s, we had Elvis singing about Heartbreak Hotel. And then in the 60s, into the 70s, we had Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. What does it say? 23 times? I lost track of the count.
I had to count it though
I
for
know
the students.
to teach.
I had it
the kids
written
how to
down
sing it.
once exactly how many
Yep, I
times.
think it was 23. We might look it up. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
23
But
is
yes,
supposed to
so
be
getting
like
into the
Illuminati
70s
number.
and Cold November Rain, yes, I have that listed. And actually, people think that was 80s. I think that was early 90s. My expert is down the hall.
Gene Art?
November Rain,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I
I'll
think that was
just
the
end
early
up
90s.
walking in the cold November rain. Yes, absolutely beautiful. And so one of my favorites. So in the 50s, of course, a lot of heartbreak songs were coming out of country music. So we've got to talk about Patsy Cline, Crazy, I Fall to Pieces, Walking After Midnight. Now, there's another one that I added to the playlist that I really want you guys to listen to, and it's called Shoes. And it's about these shoes didn't fit anymore, and now there's another girl filling these shoes.
Eh.
Yeah, and it's a very well written song. It's catchy and heartbreak sad.
Like he took her shoes when he broke up with
No,
her?
it was she's using a metaphor. You of all the people, the person who taught me how
That's,
to write
I know,
songs
I know, I know.
should know these things.
But taken literally,
But
that's
hey,
hilarious.
no, but that's the thing. It's some
He
other
broke up with me, took my shoes, and gave
so
them to somebody.
and of course I already mentioned Patsy and Crazy. Who wrote Crazy? Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson had Always on My Mind. Oh, so beautiful. And Blue Eyes Cry in the Rain still kind of puts a little tear in my eye. Ingram mentions Desert Moon. Yep. So, like I said, keep all of these answers coming. Now, what are the big ones? Roy Orbison crying. That voice. He had a cry in his voice while singing Crying. And it's a really dramatic song. So then, of course, speaking of drama and putting it, let's put it in the movie a little bit. You've Lost That Loving Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. Even though it was in Top Gun and they sang it in a silly way, it's a very sad song, isn't it? And then, of course, I recognize the song from when Hall & Oates sang it, then realized the Righteous Brothers did it. So I didn't really know the Righteous Brothers, but I came to that song through Hall & Oates singing
I've heard
it.
Hall & Oates sing
That
it.
was kind of one of their starter hits. Like they didn't really, they started getting like number one after number one over a while, but that was kind of the shot across the bow, so to speak.
I will have to listen to it.
Of course, if we're talking about songwriters, we're talking about the Beatles, and my personal favorite breakup songs of theirs would be Yesterday, classic. Everybody knows it and love it. And another one that's lesser known is called For No One. And basically, she's getting ready to go out, and she's just kind of leaving him out of her life. And you kind of see her, he sees her, you know, making more and more distance, and it's leading into a breakup. So and so of course I did mention breaking up is hard to do. We've already talked about it. Now we're getting into the 70s a little bit, early 70s. So of course I had to bring up Led Zeppelin, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Like, it's so dramatic, right? And it's because it's rock, right? Kat only knew that Hall & Oates did that one. And so I was with you. For a while, that was all I knew. And then, of course, Casey Kasem on American Top 40 told me, yeah. So, and Crystal said that it's Yesterday is one of the most covered songs ever. It has been in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most covered song.
I actually passed a vocal choir class at community college using Yesterday as my final.
Good. Then, did you get an A?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So speaking
It was
of
easy class, though.
Good. So speaking of 70s, Mark Brand, Baby Come Back, You Can Lay It All on Me. Oh, yeah. So that's a very good 70s one. Also, Joni Mitchell, River. Beautiful, sad. I can't really listen to the whole thing without getting getting a lump in my throat.
Just
and of course,
thinking of the name Joni Mitchell.
Oh yeah, and and then going into that 70s kind of pop sadness. Of course, we had The Way We Were, the song from the movie The Way We Were, about a breakup. So
when I was young, I didn't really catch a lot of that, but later I did. Yeah,
exactly. And Jeremy has great information as well. Speaking of shoes, Walking in Memphis by Mark Kona. I love that song. It is very well written. The melody is fantastic. He sings the heck out of it. The piano part.
I was walking in Memphis.
I love it. And so
walking with
my feet 10 feet off a Beale.
Off of Beale,
right? Just that lyric,
yeah.
like he's floating while he's walking in Memphis. I love it. And so he said it was written in response to a breakup, but came out of a recovery and awakening. So there we go. That is what I'm talking about, is sometimes it's not just about being sad. It's about coming up out of it. So definitely a big part of it. So the other
needed some of those songs.
Yeah, and a song that came out in the 70s, but we know from the 90s, I got to bring it up. I Will Always Love You. Yeah. So the Dolly version, Dolly who wrote it and made lots of money from it, Dolly wrote it in the 70s as saying goodbye to Porter Wagner. And it wasn't a romantic love that they had, but it was professional. They were friends. And he was upset with her, and so she wrote this song as a thank you for everything that you've given for me. I've got to spread my wings and fly on to something else. But that's what this is, and so it can be used as a romantic breakup song. And of course, Whitney Houston sang it to the heavens and was amazing, in one of her standout songs and standout movies, because what happened in The Bodyguard, they broke up in the end. Very Casablanca-esque. Yeah, we'll talk about that one too.
I Will Always Love You by her was like breaking an Olympic record.
Big time.
Singers after
so powerful.
Had to like beat her record.
Right, but it was. But the thing is that she had that vocal power.
Yeah.
She was acting in a movie that was good for her to be able to dig into.
It was just magical.
It was lightning in a bottle.
It's like the first time Michael Jackson moonwalked. It felt
like
that.
It was a big change. So
they have to like beat that now. That's
exactly
the bar.
Yep. Kat mentions Carly Simon. You're So Vain is definitely in here, and it's in the angry songs. We'll get to the angry songs, I promise. So yeah, we're going to try to slug through all of this sad stuff first. Without You. That was actually one that got covered by Mariah Carey. I can't live if living was without you. Yes, and so that was Nilsson, I think, was that one, if I'm not mistaken. And Ain't No Sunshine. First Cut is the Deepest by Cat Stevens, another one that got remade by Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
not, yeah.
then we're going to get into the 80s. And yeah, I know I was talking about Rick Springfield all last week, but I have to include What Kind of Fool Am I? Because that was about him, not wanting to lose the girl that ended up being his wife and has now been his wife for 40 years, the whole entire story. So yeah,
Worked.
there it is. So Crystal said Harry Nilsson. So I
Mm.
was right on the Harry Nilsson one. So now we get into the 80s. We're going to talk about Purple Rain. This is so sad. Makes me cry. I know. And sometimes it's not just about the loss of a romance. It's about.
I have such a strong, good story about Prince, but I can't tell it right now.
Okay, no,
You
we don't.
know,
We'll get to one of those. Maybe we'll do an
I'm just
entire
saying.
episode on Prince. I think he's worthy of a full
I'm just
episode.
saying, like it's connected to this
Okay.
heartbreak thing. And I'm
Okay,
like,
absolutely.
oh my
We'll
god,
get
that's
one of those.
horrible.
Yeah, we'll get one of those. So
Prince is
for
gonna hit me
80s
hard.
music, of course, we had "Cuts Like a Knife" from Brian Adams. Some power ballads, of course, "Love Bites," "Every Rose Has Its Thorn." Crystal mentioned a great one that I sing for karaoke quite a bit, which is "What It Takes." We also mentioned "November Rain." So Kat is given that Purple Heart. Yeah, Purple Heart. And then Dave, under Dave's, "Hi, Kelsey. How are you doing? She loves my Alanis Morissette poster." Thank you. I do too.
Mm.
Very well appreciated. Kat agrees, says yes. Um, and then uh, and then Mark said, "Who's going to fill their shoes?" And so again, like the heartbreak songs are it was tricky because I was like, is this a song about a friendship ending? Is this a song about someone dying? Is this, all those kind of things? Inger brings up "Don't Walk Away" from ELO, yet another great one. And I think that would have been 70s, not quite early 80s. So then we get ourselves into the 80s. We've got "Nothing Compares to You" by, and it's this Sinead O'Connor
No,
version, but now we're talking about Prince again. Sorry,
Prince. No, no, no.
I'll walk away
It's
from
okay.
Prince.
No, I was just saying I can't tell
Oh,
my
okay.
story, but we
Okay.
can talk about
Okay.
Prince.
All right.
But there's no
So
way
of
I'm
course
going
he
that
wrote
deep.
it, and she put it out late '89 into 1990. So one of the other sad ones that's just it moves so slowly and it is beautiful is "I Can't Make You Love Me" by Bonnie Raitt. That one is just crying your beer. So Kat brings up "How Am I Supposed to Live Without You?" Yes, absolutely. Crying by Aerosmith. I know. And okay, now is that one? Now I remember that
That's probably
version
the
of that
worst.
song, but I remember that
How
version
am
of
I
that
supposed to?
song. Oh my God, "Time, Love, and Tenderness." Michael Bolton. There it was. Took me a minute. I got there.
Yes.
So yes.
Tell me
So
how am
Inger
I
said,
supposed to
there it
yeah,
is. So Inger said that
love
the
without
so
you?
easy. Inger said that the ELO song came out in 1980 and it was in Xanadu. So of course, part of a movie telling a story. See,
Xanadu
it's
was my
all
first like mind trip of a
well.
movie.
That's perfect that I wore the roller skates then, right?
I
Okay,
still
that
don't
worked itself
understand what
out.
that was
No,
about.
I get that. And of course, Kat says Prince. Agree. So, and then now we're gonna get kind of a little bit into the '90s. So of course, no doubt. Like I said, she wrote entire albums. Some of them were angry and some of them were sad. And no doubt, or "Don't Speak" falls into the sad category to me. And then of course, "End of the Road" by Boys to Men. They had like all of these love songs, and they of course they have the heartbreak songs as well. One of the
It's
'90s
so
songs.
hot.
Oh yeah, one of the '90s songs that I loved was "Torn," and it's funny because if any of you were at the wedding, Stephen and I acted it out. There was a comedian
You're killing me, small.
who said that he was doing interpretive dance, and really he was just like acting out the words. So at some point, I will share
That sounds
the
awesome.
original. I'll see if I can find my video of Stephen and I doing it in our wedding gear at our wedding reception. So Jeremy said Bonnie Raitt was the second best concert we attended last year. So solid. Yeah, she's fantastic. And I every time I see her on TV, I just think she's probably good live. Thank you for verifying that. So yes, and Inger says that's a big show for Joe and I is Xanadu. So it's a very beloved classic. And of course, we have some of the sad soul R&B like "Unbreak My Heart," Toni Braxton, and of course she does a "Star Is Born" kind of remake in the video, so it is very sad as well.
So good.
Um, Now, a more obscure one from Peter Gabriel, of course, we've already talked about, say, "In Your Eyes." "Washing of the Water" is
Mhm.
so sad because it's like trying to shed that previous life
Mhm.
and move on. And so it is very sad. And of course, Madonna was in on that too. And she did a beautiful song called "Take a Bow." Absolutely lush, beautiful ballad.
Oh,
And so
so
Crystal
good.
comes in clutch with the name of the character that does the acting out of the stuff is Johann Lipowitz. And the comedian that plays him is David Armand. And he has actually been on a talk show. I think we'll get a little bit of a few YouTube videos that I will post for you guys on that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, of course, you might need to leave the room for a second because I have to talk about Jeff Buckley.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You'll make it. We'll keep it short and sweet. We'll keep it very, we'll do our best. But lover, you should have come over. It's an absolute heartbreaker, and just yeah, it doesn't just break your heart; it'll absolutely shatter it. So moving on.
There are so many connections to that song,
I
not just love.
know, I know, but that was the thing.
Students.
But that was the thing for me when I was going through my divorce. Through however, God, it's been a long, long time ago, like 2002, three, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
so a long time ago, ancient times.
And I
Um,
was the one that introduced that poison
and
to the
but
world.
the thing is that I
Got
used to
students to
I
sing.
couldn't sleep at night, and I would listen to Jeff Buckley's live at Chennai, and it was comfort
Mm,
to me. And he had heartbreak songs, he had beautiful songs, and it was the full version, so it was him being silly in between songs too,
mm.
and it was
Yeah, I've heard a
absolutely
lot of that
beautiful.
one.
And so Hallelujah's in there, of course, and Love It You Should Have Come Over is in there as well. So and that's the other thing. Side note: we're going to take a second to
She's
talk
a
about
tip.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah is not a religious song. Hallelujah is a song about heartbreak. And so I didn't really include it in here, but we just started talking about Jeff Buckley, so now we're going to talk about it.
The
So
summer
Leonard
forever.
Cohen wrote, oh right, Jeff Buckley was kind of embarrassed by that line. She's the tear that hangs inside my soul forever.
That's the
And
best
after he
line.
wrote that, he's like, did I go too far?
That
But
is the
then
best
because he's
line.
Jeff Buckley, he left it in.
It's the
So
most
yeah.
emo line ever. It's
Yep.
beautiful.
And so yeah, and so Crystal mentioned that David Armand was on a game show, so those are probably the clips I'm going to be providing. So of course Loverboy turned me loose, but that's one of in the angry ones, and we'll get to that one too. So um skip ahead. We like I said, Jeff Buckley helped me get through the breakup. He
Mm,
also Delamitri did the same thing, driving with the brakes on. The whole album
mm.
Twisted got a lot of heartbreak, even though it has
Love
Roll to
Delamitri.
Me in it. It also has a lot of sad stuff too, because he's Scottish. Of course, that's what he's going to write. So Cheryl Crow, my favorite mistake. A lot of people think it's about Eric Clapton. It's kind of a rumor, but that is an absolutely lovely, heartbreaking kind of song. And so she's looking back at it like it was a big mistake, but it was my favorite mistake. So again,
Mm.
blending those feelings together,
Yeah,
and
whatever,
then.
Cheryl Crow.
Be nice to Cheryl Crow. I love her. She's from Missouri. All right, and
I'm
so
just saying that song.
I know. And so Linger by the Cranberries. And so again, it's just kind of like, do we have to keep going back through this again? Let's just leave well enough alone. And then, of course, I had to bring up Mary J. Blige. How much heartbreak has that woman been through? So songs like Not Gonna Cry and No More Drama. Absolutely love it. Jeremy, his first rock
No
concert
more
was
drama
Loverboy.
chills.
Man, Jeremy, you are a well-traveled guy when it comes to all of these concerts. I'm so glad that you have that. So yes, a Picture. Someone has mentioned Picture, even though it does have Kid Rock. That's fine. That's fine.
Mm.
So yeah, it is listed on here. Now I talk about duets. How the duets are very sad. Whiskey Lullaby being the saddest duet that ever sad duetted. So Brad Paisley, Alison Krauss talking about a couple that when they go through the breakup, he drinks himself to death, then she drinks himself to death. I don't even remember what order it goes in, but it is the saddest song I think that ever
Hmm.
saddened. And so Kat mentions I'm Going Down by Mary J. Blige. See, exactly. Like once you get
Mm.
started, there are artists that have entire arcs of breakup songs, and it's amazing. So getting a little bit more into 90s rock and roll, how's it going to be by Third Eye Blind? Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. Um,
I didn't like that guy's voice.
it didn't really. I thought
No.
it was cool. I
So
liked it. So Crystal says
they
true.
didn't hit me hard until like later.
Until
I
later.
love him now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now with and then what I forgot to mention when we were talking about Picture and Whiskey Lullaby is there's a whole section of 90s into 2000s guitar singer songwriter girls that did some stuff, and so Crystal and I are very bonded over a girl named Julie Roberts. Not me, Julie Roberts. And so she had an entire at least two albums
Hmm.
full of breakup songs. And one of them was called Wake Up Older. Another one was called Men in Mascara. Get this one. Men in Mascara always run, right? I thought that was just, and
Mm.
that was the chorus of what she did. And so the other one, the first kind of country hit that she had was called Breakdown Here. And so at some point, I'm pretty sure I had Wake Up Older and Breakdown Here as part of my acoustic sets when I was playing in Hollister at Jesters. Crystal, remember she can probably get through that. But the chorus on Breakdown Here, I sure hate to break down here. Nothing up ahead or in the rear view mirror. Out in the middle of nowhere, knowing I'm in trouble if these wheels stop rolling. God help me keep me moving somehow. Don't let me start wishing I was with him now. I made it this far without crying a single tear. I'd sure hate to break down here.
Ooh. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
right?
good.
And the whole song has that. This is legit.
Break down here.
Break down
Yeah.
here. It's amazing. I'll let you listen to a bunch of it later. So Crystal said not the actress. Yes, not Julia Roberts. Julie Roberts. So it is a different one. And then Mark Matthews brings up Lita Ford. And so Lita Ford, that one was an interesting one to me because I don't know if it was Close My Eyes Forever, Kiss Me Deadly. Like, feel free to name a song. So I didn't really end up getting her on the list. So next up, and then of course more of that country. Stay by Sugarland. That was a big one, and that's an interesting one because she's like, "You're out with this other girl. Why don't you?" Or at first, and she turns it around. At first, she's like, "Why do you have to leave? Why don't you stay? Stay with me." And then he's back with the other girl, and he's like, "You know what?" And she says, "You know what? Why don't you stay?" So she turns it around. So in the course of the song, she turns around the word stay to not stay with her, but why don't you stay over there? And so it becomes this
Mm.
really interestingly written breakup song. So then, of course, speaking of an interestingly written song from the country artists, Girl Crush by Little Big Town. So, of course, basically, Girl
I'm.
Crush. Okay, so I'll give you the Cliffs Notes on this one. Yeah, so yes, Lady A, I've got that one listed too. Need You Now was a really big one. And so
Mm.
that's about drunk dialing. About it's a quarter after one and I'm all alone and I miss you now. Yeah, and Need You Now. So yes, Headed for a Heartache by Winger. Thank you, Dave Grinder, for bringing that up. We did talk about some hairband. It is your spirit guide, Kip Winger.
Kip
Of
Winger, man,
course, of
he just
course,
helped
yes.
me survive through that whole
I
hair
know
metal
it
show.
was
It
it
was,
was it
I
wasn't
mean, like
easy, but you did it.
motivated me,
But you did it.
motivated me to
But
be the
anyway,
best hair metal
exactly.
music.
Anyway, back to Girl Crush by Little Big Town. So
Kip
with that,
Winger.
she sings, "I've got a girl crush," and basically, it's not because she has a crush and wants to date the girl. She wants to be the girl that is in this man's life. And one of the lines is, I want to take I want to kiss her lips because they taste like you."
Ooh.
Right? Yeah, it's got a twist, man. I was not
Mm-hmm.
expecting country music to come in with that particular twist, but by goodness they did, and it was a big and it was a big thing. So Tornado, also by Little Big Town, and that's destruction, basically. That this is a bad relationship that's going to end up completely busted. So now we get into pop girl singer songwriters, Jar of Hearts by Christina Perry. Yeah, who I absolutely love. And of course, she did 1,000 Years, which is a beautiful love song, but she started out with Jar of Hearts. Who do you think you are? Collecting your jar,
Mm.
collecting your jar, running around leaving scars, collecting your jar of hearts. Yeah, yeah. So really, really good lyrics.
I mean,
Um,
the 1,000 years one is, or loved you for how many years?
Oh, 1,000 years.
It is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And love you for 1,000 more. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful love
that one
song,
like
but
hit me the most.
she started with the heartbreak song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the first big one. So, and then Mom, hi, nice to see you. Norma June says Together Again, one of her favorites. So that is another one I want to make sure we brought up. So Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. I know it's been covered a lot, but it is absolutely beautiful and is really ethereal and really strange. And I made sure I added it to the list.
It's so good.
Now another one that I did that was not quite a breakup song, but I added it anyway. Ben Folds 5, Not the Same. You Were Not the Same After That. And so that I went ahead and threw it in because it's kind of
Just
it's
be making weird
yeah.
noises over here.
I know that's gonna be the whole day, pretty much the whole day. So now we're getting more into late '90s, into the 2000s. So of course we have Barely Breathing. Crystal brought that up. Um, so
Duncan Sheik, right?
yes, well
Yes.
done, very well done. Yes, and so Bleeding Love by Leona Nace. Leona Nace, I think that was their name. I think. I don't know. Crystal probably knows the answer to that. Leona Lewis. Sorry, Leona Lewis. That's who it was. Was Bleeding Love. And then Because of You by Kelly Clarkson. Of course, she's got some breakup songs. Like she's got a whole set of them.
Mm.
And then speaking of other people that have breakup songs, Avril Lavigne has them as well. So When You're Gone was the big one that I brought up. But
Mm.
you could also use Girlfriend. She's like, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. You should break up and be with me. So maybe that's a breakup song.
Yeah,
Sure, we'll go with it.
she's great.
Yeah, and then of course we bring up Tay Tay, the sad songs. So I gave the examples of Tim McGraw and Dear John. They're very sad. They're very heartbreaking. Tim McGraw is only written about one of her high school crushes that she had, and they listened to Tim McGraw when they were falling in love. And then I hope you think of me when you listen to Tim McGraw.
Cool.
Yeah. And then Dear John apparently was written about John Mayer. She dated him for a minute. Thank you. Crystal verifies that that was Leona Lewis, Bleeding Love. So,
I don't think
um,
either one of those songs have
oh
aged
yeah,
well.
okay. And then of course Bruno Mars. Well, for as great a songs as many different genres as he has, he did have a breakup song, "When I Was Your Man." Grenade is similar, but at the same time, did he break up with her? I kind of hope he did because it sounds like a bad relationship.
Like she's asking you to catch
And then,
grenades,
and
dude.
right, and then no, I would catch a grenade, but you wouldn't do the same. So it's the what if.
Right,
Yeah.
but
So
why is a grenade involved? It's like explosion. Yeah,
yes, yes. And so
it's murder.
yeah, and so we have not gotten to the angry songs yet, Dave. But yes, what you just mentioned is going to be on the angry songs. Maybe next time you'll think before he cheats. Carrie Underwood. So yes,
Mm.
absolutely. Thank you, Karen, for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Oh wow, we're about to get to the angry ones. Yes, we are. So apologize. It's too late to apologize. So
Mm.
that's sad, but it also has elements of I'm still
Yeah.
angry about this. And then, of course, Adele. We have to bring up Adele. She has angry ones and she has sad ones. So the sad ones. Chasing Pavements. If you don't know that one, you really need to hear that one. Someone Like You and Hello from the Other
Mm.
Side. At least I could say that. I tried.
Even
And
though
then,
they tried to make fun of that song into
no.
like
And
not being
but
serious,
that's how iconic it
"Hello"
was.
is still a cry
But
fest.
that's how iconic the song was. Absolutely. And
Yep.
so and then Someone You Loved, Capaldi. Yes, absolutely love Louis
Mm.
Capaldi, and I thought that that was a beautiful song, particularly when it was sung by Daughtry when he was dressed up as a dog on The Masked Singer. Crystal knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so enough with the sad songs. We've been crying and crying and crying. Now let's go to another element of breaking up, and it's the angry songs, right?
Mm.
So we can take it all the way back to the 50s because Bye Bye Love, which is the Everly Brothers. Or if you're an 80s new wave person, it's Bye Bye Love by the Cars.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
a couple of names and words have been selected and reused. You Don't Own Me. You Don't Own Me. And of course, what was that song saying at the very end of The First Wives Club? So, a classic, Diane
Mm.
Keaton, rest in peace. Pretty amazing. And of course, in the 60s, we had these boots are made for walking. That's just what they do.
Mhm.
And yes, indeed, Miranda Lambert has a whole entire section in here, and Kerosene is one of them, and Crazy Chicks. So, um, from this point, You Keep Me Hanging On, even though that was a Supreme song, it got remade a few different times. Kim Wilde did it in the 80s, back in the 70s. Vanilla Fudge did it. It was really heavy. Um, so lots of good ones there. And then, of course, I had to bring up Linda Ronstadt singing You're No Good, and right,
Mhm.
and Carly Simon singing You're So Vain. And that's the thing, is like the anger songs are like stabbing words at the people, right? So and then Dave said Lambert did wait, are you Dave, are you saying that Miranda Lambert kissed you on your birthday? Is I need verification
Did
right
you
now,
see
and
it
we'll
go
come
pop
back to
in the
that.
frame?
I know it just kind of popped, and now he's suddenly more interested. But Crystal mentioned that it was in Dirty Dancing too. Yes, so absolutely. So then of course we can't have this without mentioning the band Fleetwood Mac. So on the same album, we've got Go Your Own Way, which is the one that Lindsay wrote after to get at Stevie, and then Stevie wrote back. What was the one? uh, Dreams, wrote Dreams back in return after him. And then, of course, they wrote The Chain together, but it was talking about never breaking the chain. And so they're still together as a band, but very splitting up. And at the same time, Stevie and Lindsay were splitting up. The McVies were splitting up as well. It was wait.
I'm
Okay,
over here
so
trying to
wait,
type
are
this
you
all
ready?
in.
Are you
No,
ready
I'm
for
just
the
kidding.
verification? Dave said yes, all over my face. Okay, I think there might be a whole entire story. We might have to have Dave on as a special guest on a future episode. And I mean, we've already had his wife as a special guest on the future episode. She beat you to it. Sorry,
Dave said
but
yes all over my face.
yeah, that's what it says. And
That's
Inger
awesome.
said that they were phenomenal in concert. Yes, amen, 100%.
Mm.
Fleetwood Mac is fantastic. Landslide, yes, and Landslide is a beautiful heartbreaky song as well. So we go into the 70s, and we've got Jane, which is by Jefferson Starship, which is one of my favorites. And of course, The Wrestler uses it, so that's probably why I brought it up. And then Heartache Tonight, lots of Eagle songs with lots of heartbreak. And Heartache Tonight was kind of the more upbeat one. And then you don't talk about 70s breakup songs without talking about one of the big ones, I Will Survive.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Mm.
not just the Gloria Gaynor version, but the
Uh,
cake version. Yeah, and that is a
all
that
right.
is an empowerment.
The cake version too.
Yes, that is an empowerment tune. People get up and dance. We played it in Bender, and it always went over really well
It's like
because of that.
roller skating. I just
It is
picture
100.
it.
No, there's a roller skater in the video. There's
Yeah.
a girl who roller skates in the video. Yes,
Yeah.
in the music video.
Roller skating in
Uh-huh.
gold.
Yeah.
It's
So,
beautiful.
and of course, Billy Joel had his moments. My Life being probably one of the favorites that I really liked.
Mm.
And of course, go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone. Yeah. And then, of course, we have to get into the sad British stuff. So, Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. Sad day. And
Oh.
that's kind of like early day emo, like
Oh, that
pre
one.
emo. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yep. Yep.
hurts.
So, and then Dave said she got her to do it
So
backstage.
good. It hurts so good. Is what I'm
Right.
going to say the whole time.
So, and then of course we're getting ourselves a little more into the 80s. So, two different Since You've Been Gone. There's the Rainbow one. Since you've been gone, since you've been gone, I'm out of my head, can't take it. Really great shiny guitar riffs.
Right.
Awesome. And then
Harmonies.
of course there's Kelly's Since You've Been Gone, I
Mm.
can't breathe. So yes, so we do skip around a little. And yes, Kat says that we did lose one of the founding members of Cake, the guitar player. So rest in peace. It was
Aw.
very sad to see. We're losing a lot of people right now, and it's just speaking of heartbreak, absolutely heartbreaking. So, and then as we move into the 80s, of course, Phil Collins gave us Against All Odds, very powerful song that was in a movie called Against All Odds, if I remember right. And then, of course, we've got Loverboy. We mentioned Loverboy, so Turn Me Loose is another one. I got to do it my way or no way at all, so Turn Me Loose. And Crystal mentioned Total Eclipse of the Heart. Turn around. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. So very heartbreaking. And then, of course, we've got one of my favorites, Love Stinks by the J. Giles Band. When you're upset. And, of course, they played it in Wedding Singer. And he's upset because he just broke up. I love Wedding Singer. Is one of my absolute favorites. Definitely listed on here as well. And then another one that I loved when I was 11 and I hadn't been through heartbreak before, Tainted Love by Soft Cell. I absolutely love that. I didn't know it was a cover, but I love that song. I still have the single in my
that like
stack
the
of stuff.
beat in that cover was a bop. It was
Tainted Love. And it just moved you. Even though it was a very simple beat, it moved you. Yes. And so, of course, one of Steven's favorites and one of the ones that he plays at karaoke. And what was funny was that he bonded with Mikey when they first got together and we were doing karaoke. They had to figure out which one of the two of them was going to sing it because they both had it as a to-do song. And it was Everything About You by Ugly Kid Joe, which we got to see in concert. We got to see them
my first
and
band.
Fozzy.
We covered them.
Oh, I love.
Actually, we covered it for the talent show in junior high.
And the guy that sang it can still sing it amazingly and did a fantastic job. And Steven was not only singing along with every word for that, but every word from the rest of the album. So, and of course, we go into the 90s a little bit more. And we've got Little Miss Can't Be Wrong by the Spin Doctors. People always know Two Princes, and it's like, no, come and join me. So, and then Karen says, no, you don't, Dave. And said, I hate myself for loving you. Yes. So, so that's a tricky one because it's like, did you break up with them? Are you still together with them? You just kind of hate yourself for loving them. Like, that's a tricky one. But Joan Jett, so absolutely, I will allow it and talk to that. So, and that was Karen's answer was no, you don't, Dave. So he loves himself for loving Karen. All right. So, and then of course I brought up the big one. You Ought to Know. It's a classic. I've done it with Bender all the time. It's a chance for me to drop an F-bomb when I'm allowed to drop an F-bomb with Bender, and she's very heroic to me. I absolutely loved, Jagged Little Pill, Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie. This one, sorry. Oh, yes, Under Rug Swept. How could I forget the name of it? So Kat mentions the 2000s. Forget You. Speaking of dropping F-bombs. So, of course, into the 2000s, CeeLo gets to say Forget You. And, of course, it's if you listen to the unedited version, the F stands for something else. She mentioned Bulletproof. Great one. That's a dance, very EDM kind of a tune and really catchy. And, yeah, next time she's going to be bulletproof, right? And so Dave says yes. So he is agreeing that, yes, he loves to love Karen. One of my favorites that I just introduced to Evan, that's a bit more R&B. It's Erykah Badu, Call Tyrone, and I love it because she's like, call Tyrone, tell him to come get you, and tell him I said come on, but hold up, but you can't use my phone. And I'm just like, that payoff line. And we
Yep.
used to play on MTV all the
Uh,
time, and I love it. So
she is
yes,
so in control
Karen
of that
agrees about
situation.
Alanis. Dave agrees about Alanis. Yes, we love her music, and she is awesome. So yes, that was a big one. And of course, I mentioned Delamitri. They have a song called "Kiss This Thing Goodbye," and it's just a kiss off. He's like, "Yep, it's time. We're good to go." Now, we also, of course, had a country song, Shania Twain. Whose bed have your boots been under? And whose heart did you steal, I wonder? And this time did it feel like thunder, baby? Oh, yeah. So, of course, she had a good one. Now, let's go back into the pop a little bit because, of course, we had In Sync. Bye, bye, bye. Very powerful. Yeah. And then, of course, follow up with Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River, which everybody says is about Britney Spears, which everybody says is about Britney Spears and the breakup. And then, of course, they had a Britney look-alike in the video, fairly, masked. So Crystal and I bonded over one called Leave, Get Out, which is by JoJo. So she was very young, and I'm like, are you 14 years old and already having a breakup like that? And it was a very catchy tune. So, and
I
she was one
remember
of
that
those
artist. Yeah.
melismatic singers, so did a lot of really great stuff. And then, of course, we mentioned Cher, Believe. Big hit for Cher. She made a comeback. And yes, I do believe in life after love, 100%. And Jeremy says, is Spin Doctors coming to KC this summer? Well, Jeremy, you are the expert on live shows, so I'm deferring to you. So if you find that they are coming, hey, let us know. Maybe we'll all go together. So, well, Dave, thank you. He says I sing it better than Shania. So I had no idea. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sure.
And of course, one of the artists that we have to mention in the angry songs is Pink. Yeah, there you go. One of her first big hits. Looking pitiful, just because I let you go.
She
Right?
calls out her husband like while they're still married.
How
Like,
brave! No, she was okay when she wrote "So What." She had broken up with him, and she got him to be in the video.
mm-hmm.
They for real kissed in the video, and then ended up reconciling after
Totally.
getting back
Like
together
that was
and
like
have stayed together
she
for
laid
decades.
down the business.
She did,
Like
and but yeah,
boundary set.
nope.
You
She
know.
just and yes, and I have this on here too. Blow me one last kiss. Yeah, so that was one of the big ones that she did as well. So, and of course, who knew? Even though it's about a friend that she lost that died, who knew has that heartbreak to it as well about losing someone. So, of course, Pink's got a stack of songs about breakups, and the lyrics on them are just sassy, confessional. I love it. So now we get to our second section of Adele where she has her angry stuff. Set Fire to the Rain, Rumor Has It, Rolling in the Deep. You could probably name even more because she just has all of those breakup songs. And then, oh yeah, you mentioned it already. We've got to mention it now. Miranda Lambert, White Liar, Mama's Broken Heart, Kerosene. I count Gunpowder and Lead. That is got some abuse in it. But she's going to break up with him by shooting him. So it's pretty much how that one goes. And then Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and we've already mentioned a few other of her songs as well. Now, other country songs that were happening, Kiss This by Aaron Tippin. Yep, right in the right time period for this because we also have um, Faith Hill singing Could You Cry Just a Little, Die Just a Little, Pretend That You're Feeling a Little More Pain. I came, now I'm wanting something in return. Could you cry a little for me? So that's an unusual way to be like, yeah, we're broken up, but could you show a little something over it? And I've always thought that was a great song. And then All I Want to Be Is Done by the band Perry. I love that song. It's catchy. It's pop country kind of thing. And then, of course, Crystal has said it just before I can actually get to say it. Goodbye, Earl. So, of course, that is very similar to to Gunpowder and Lead because what are we going to do? We're going to eat those beans and stuff you in the trunk and throw you in the river and he's going to be a missing person that no one missed at all. So yes,
Seems
Goodbye
a little
Earl.
harsh, but I don't
It
know,
might
yeah.
have been, and then of course the anger that comes with before he cheats. What we mentioned. I carved my name into his leather seats. Took a Louisville Slugger to both headlights. All of that. So really good karaoke singing with that too. So Jeremy says Pink has to be one of the artists that you bend over backwards to see if they come perform in the day's drive to see you. I think from what I've seen in videos, I think you're right. I also need to make sure I have enough money to pull it off because I think those tickets might be just a bit expensive. So and so, of course, other country songs for the time, Lips Are Moving by Megan Trainor. I know you lie, your lips are moving. So Dave says, OLC, Jeremy says, Spin Doctors. So, yes, we've got a whole bunch of people chiming in, and I love it. Absolutely. And so, other
I'm
country
actually
songs.
looking for myself.
Okay. Other country songs. I'm Gonna Miss Her by Brad Paisley. He's like, I love her, but I love to fish. She says, if I go fishing one more time, she's gone. And then he goes fishing, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna miss her." So yeah, okay. So there it is. Jeremy says it's September 15th at Starlight. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can get figured out. I'm gonna start staring at some tickets. So then for other country songs, My Give a Damn's Busted. That's by oh my god, Jody Messina. There she is. That one's a great one. I've sang that one in karaoke many times. Again, some of these angry breakup songs are fun to sing for karaoke. An absolute blast. So um,
Eventually.
yeah, there we go. So, but it's part of how you get the anger out. And then, of course, we've got some really great kind of pop and bluesy songs like X Factor by Lauryn Hill, Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, right? And yeah. And Jeremy says it's September 16th of 2026, and Crystal said I'll take you back. And so yeah, we've got a whole stack. And then one of my other favorites, you only call me when you're sober by Evanescence.
Mm,
You only call me when you're sober. Yeah.
yeah.
You never call me when you're sober. Yeah, there it is. So it took me a minute, but I got there. And then of course I mentioned Forget You. Also another one that drops an F bomb. ABCDEFU.
Yes.
That's another catchy one. And guess what? Taylor has a whole set too. So Tay Tay has We Are Never Getting Back Together, which I really enjoy that, and the video. Yep. Picture to Burn, I Knew You Were Trouble, right? So with the screaming goat, yeah, absolutely. So, and then of course Gautier, a one-hit wonder, somebody that I used to know, right? The anger, there's sadness, but there's also anger.
God, that song
right?
was so good and
Yes.
so huge and then
Yeah.
so over.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'll Take You Back as Brad Paisley. So I believe that's the one. And then of course somebody that I used to know, Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. And then of course and then here's the interesting one, Love Yourself by Justin Bieber, which I think was written by Ed Sheeran, and he's got a few of them as well. Don't mess with my love. I won't say a bad word. But yeah. And then of course we got Miley Cyrus. She came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. And then of course, who is it that has One Less Problem Without
I
You?
love my commentary.
Iggy
Yeah.
is and Ariana Grande, I think, on that one too.
Which
yeah.
one?
One Less Problem Without You.
Mm.
I got 99 problems, but you won't be one. Hit me.
Oh.
So anyway, so we're already starting to run out of time. We have about 10 minutes before we're at the top of the hour again. So I'm going to run through some of the other emotions. Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis is more of like a wish. Like, don't look back upset, just move on. Motley Crue, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away. That's a little meaner. And then Send My Love to Your New Lover by Adele is also, hey, I'm through this, I'm over this, send my love to your new lover. And so it's moving on. Of course, Cher is wishing that she could turn back time, so there's regret within that as well. When It's Over by Sugar Ray, that's when he falls in love again. So he's looking forward to moving out. And so Irreplaceable by Beyonce,
So
same thing.
bouncy,
She could find another you in a minute, right? And so yeah, and so Crystal's thank you by Ariana. Thank you next. Yes. And so and then I Want You Back by Jackson 5 is more about reconciling. I Want You Back, obviously, with the song. Another sad one that somebody brought up and that just about broke my heart. He Stopped Loving Her Today. That's a little bit closer to Whiskey Lullaby because
I've never
basically
heard that. That sounds awful.
no, it's amazing. It's powerful. It's George Jones, yeah, I believe, and it's about he stopped loving her today because he loved her till he died. They placed a wreath upon his door. So he loved her till he died. Heart shattering.
Screw you,
Right?
Julie.
Mean George Jones. Mean me. Right?
Screw
Yes.
you both.
I know. It's rough. It's rough. And so If You Leave Me Now, of course, is kind of a pre-breakup. I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston, also kind of a pre-breakup. I Can't Tell You Why by the Eagles is kind of indecisive. And then, of course, Every Breath You Take is very brooding, a little stalkery as well. So, but a beautiful song nonetheless. Forget Her, sorry, by Jeff Buckley. Forget her, forget that you ever met her because it's him giving advice, Kiss from an Angel, or is it Lips of an Angel or Kiss from a Rose? But I think Lips of an Angel is really good to hear your voice. Hinder? It's really good to
Hinder,
hear
yeah.
your voice. Saying my name, it sounds so sweet. And that's an interesting one because it is a breakup, but it's a cheating song.
I didn't like that
Well,
song.
it's a cheating song. Yeah. So, and Jeremy agrees, awful song.
Yeah. I was like Lips of an Angel, and the way he sang it was like way over everything.
And then of course back to Taylor.
Schlock.
Yeah, back to Taylor Swift. Bad Blood
Shellac.
is a friend breakup. It can also count as a now we've got bad blood. can also
Uh-huh.
count
Uh-huh.
as a breakup. And then of course Miss Jackson by Outkast. Is that a song about baby mama drama, or is that really a breakup song? Like, I think it can be both. So, and Crystal agrees that is Hinder that sang Lips of an Angel.
Hmm.
Now, we're running out of time. So
We
what
just
that
didn't
means is
need
I
that
get to
song
do
anymore.
just a rundown of movies. So I'm going to, so of course I keep running out of time. So I'm just going to rattle off movies. Are you ready for me to rattle
Sure.
them
Yeah,
off? All
yeah,
right, I'm
let's
going
go.
to use
Let's go.
my breath
And these
support.
are all breakup movies?
Yes, and so they have
Screw
they
you.
have a breakup that is important to the storytelling. Whether they end up together again or they end up apart, whatever it is, this is what we've got. The Breakup, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Better Off Dead, Steven's favorite. Singles, one of my favorites. Legally Blonde, another one of my favorites. First Wives Club, Runaway Bride, Some Like It Hot, taking it back to the 50s, right? High Fidelity, one of my big time favorites. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, if you ever wanted to forget about somebody you loved completely, there's how you do it. La La Land. 27 Dresses, I think, is kind of a breakup movie. She ends up getting people broken up, but it's a whole complicated thing. I also like it. Under the Tuscan Sun, another one that I like a lot. Waiting to Exhale, you want to see somebody set fire to a car because she's mad at her man. That's what happens there. Bridget Jones' Diary. I haven't watched it, but I hear it's got breakups in it, so we're bringing that one too. So Kat says, and next time we're just going to talk about sleazy rock, right? Because I need more Hinder talk. Yes, we should. Okay, now let me form an idea for a show that's going to give us a chance to get some Hinder rock involved. Let me stir that in my brain. We will come up with a show to really dedicate to that. Okay, so finishing off the movies, we've got Sliding Doors, 500 Days of Summer, Mamma Mia, Casablanca, taking it way back. Kramer versus Kramer, John Tucker Must Die, Sweet Home Alabama, Twister. They were kind of broken up. I think it kind of counts, but we're just kind of, the tornado didn't come
True
between
Story
them.
was the
The
breakup.
tornado brought them together.
Mm.
So yeah, I love story or breakup story.
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard, Notebooks. So it's Die Hard because like they're split apart, but then I don't know. Did they get along again? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Die Hard is all kinds of movies. Apparently, it's a breakup movie and it's a Christmas movie. I don't know. But that's another argument for another time. Notebook, yes. And so, of course, that has a big breakup in it, but then they
Ah,
get back together and then it's all heartbreaking and then they die together. It's just sad, sad. And of course, I do have
why
the
did I
Troy.
think this would be fun?
And yes, with the Hinder, with whatever we do for Sleazy Hinder Talk, that show, we are going to have a completely separate. Yes, because there is a story that my drummer in Bender tells about Hinder, and yes, we're going to get into that one. Cat's
I
bringing
got
up
one about the
Jurassic Park.
singer.
There was a breakup in Jurassic Park because the two sciencey people were not together, and then maybe yeah. You know what? If Die Hard counts, that one should count too. And then of course a classic, When Harry Met Sally, Terms of Endearment, The Way We Were, which I mentioned before, Mrs. Doubtfire, because they are split up and trying to figure out how to co-parent. Is that about co-parenting or splitting up? I'm not sure. And finally, Swingers, about being single, and then of course wanting to not be single, and then there's breakup stuff that goes with that. So guess what, guys? I finally got to the end. We have 4 minutes
Did you get
before the
Love
top of the hour.
Actually in there?
I didn't, because is that a love movie or is that a breakup movie? There's your trouble. So,
It depends on where
as
you're at in life,
promised,
I guess.
exactly. So, as promised, I am going to make the big announcement on what next week is going to be. Next week, first of all, I'm going to tell you who my special guest is. It will be Steven, because this will be a topic that will be very near and dear to his heart, and I hope it is near and dear to your all hearts too. Arcades. We're going to talk about arcades, arcade games, pinball machines, all of the literal bells and whistles that go with what you do when you're at the arcade. So whether that was snacks, whether your arcade was at the roller rink, all those things. And we'll probably have a roller skate one later, but we're definitely talking about arcades. So be thinking of all your favorite games. Feel free to post, feel free to chit chat with me. We'll look forward to talking about arcades, and my special guest will be Steven, because that boy
Oh yeah.
lived at Aladdin's castle
Oh
for
yeah.
quite some time. So, yes, so I did mention
He's like
Linger in
old
my
school
90s
computer
sad music.
everything.
So, yes, Dave, I agree with you. Linger by the Cranberries was another big one. So, thank you guys. I absolutely love it. We got 95, so make that 96 comments. So, of course,
Wow.
so Inger loves pinball. Linda loves pinball. This is going to be so much fun. We're going to have such a great time talking about this. So, Dave's ready for it too. Let's go. So, we're at like 100 comments. So, guys, thank you. That means you have been chipping in and being part of the conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that you do that. So, tell your friends about this. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, do all of those things. I'm adding these videos to YouTube as well, so they will be in a little bit more lasting format. So Kat is waving and saying thank you. So guys, thank you so much. Those of you that watch later, feel free to continue to comment in on the video as well. I can't thank you guys enough. We're having a really good time. Like I said, next week is going to be arcades. We're going to have a blast with it. Thanks again, guys, for joining me. This is a really fun journey that I'm having with Julia Pop. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off and close out.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Evan. I appreciate you
Yep.
joining me for the Peanut Gallery.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did not talk as much
No,
as
that's all right. That's all right. That's perfectly fine.
you were.
And Jeremy did